Come on now, fellas! We've got to answer the bell. Now let's go!
Welcome into a Monday Mirror edition of Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. I'm Chris Yao, joined by Maurice Patton, and we have a ton to talk about today. But Mo, first, how are you? How are things?
Things are okay, man. Things are really good, especially in Philadelphia. But yeah, looking forward to this 2-hour show that probably could easily be 3. I don't want to say that too loud because I don't want to do a 3-hour show, but
yeah,
I think we've probably got 3 hours worth of stuff.
Yeah, we're gonna have to cram it all into 2. We've got three hours worth, 2 hours to get it in.
Talk fast.
Talk fast will be our motto today. Yeah, I mean, man, what a crazy weekend in all of sports, but particularly college sports. And what's I was working through the fantasy college conferences that I put together, and I was going through the rankings and getting everybody's scores set up, and the number of teams that won and fell in the rankings is astounding this week. Like at least 6 or 7 teams won their games and dropped in the CBS 133, which, I mean, some folks won by a couple points over a team they probably should have, beaten a little worse.
A little more handily.
You've got Tennessee, who struggled against Austin Peay. They dropped it. It was just wild to me as I was going through there, like, man, didn't they win? Why are they not as high? And so
saw a lot of that, not just in college, but in some high school rankings as well. So,
well,
interesting.
Hopefully we can dissect some of those when we talk about the AP poll and when we get into that, and of course all of the reactions from college football, NFL. We've got Braves, and we'll talk about their game today, but also over the weekend against Pittsburgh. So plenty to get to today, and we might as well jump right in and get to the results from the weekend and today's schedule, and we'll get that to you on the rundown.
This is the rundown.
The Monday Rundown is brought to you by Zion Christian Academy. ZCA offers a faith-based, Christ-centered education in Murray County. Give them a call today at 931-388-5831 or visit zioneagles.org to schedule your appointment today. Zion Christian Academy, Prepared for college, equipped for purpose.
Football action over the weekend in high school play. Baylor downs Lipscomb Academy 34-31 in a barn burner. It was Beach shutting out Portland 35-0. Brentwood edges Henry County 17-14, while Hillsboro takes care of Cane Ridge 27-7. It was Rossview 52, Clarksville Northwest 0. Collinwood a 38-13 winner over Eagleville. Shelbyville Central holds off Columbia Central 29-27 and a last-second field goal try for the Lions. No good there. Full coverage on MainStreetMurray.com from Mo Patton. Huntingdon takes care of Columbia Academy 48-14. It was 11-41. Cookeville 17. Christ Presbyterian downs Montgomery Bell Academy 22-7, while Davidson Academy was a 43-26 winner over Battleground Academy. Donaldson Christian 42, Providence Christian 3. It was Gallatin 48, Dixon County 14. Ensworth downs Knox Catholic 38-14. And Cornersville was a 54-34 winner over Ezo Harding. Fairview edges Richland in overtime, going for 2 and getting it 29-28. The final there for the Jackets in their home opener. Father Ryan 56-21 winner over Brentwood Academy. Independence downs Franklin in overtime, double overtime, right? 3 weeks in a row,
Right.
At least 2 overtimes.
No. The second one was just one
That's
overtime.
right. It wasn't just overtime last week. You're right. Anyway, Independence, they like to play free football. 31-24 winners over the Admirals. Germantown 41, Riverdale 32. Franklin Road Academy a 69-7 winner over Goodpasture. It was Friendship Christian 42, Grace Franklin 27. Marshall County shuts out Greenbrier 37-0, and Green Hill was a 27-20 winner over Wilson Central. Grundy County down to Tennessee Heat 37-8. While Mount Pleasant with a miracle 14-10 the winner there over Harpeth. Hendersonville 61, Hunters Lane nothing. Westmoreland 48-7 winners over Jackson County. Centennial blanks Lawson 35-0, giving them the Lightning their first loss as the Lawson Lightning. And Gordonsville 35, Joe Burns 6.
Kirkwood still has not lost following their 49-29 win over Clarksville Northeast. Giles County takes the Cowbell back with a 42-7 win over Lawrence County in Lawrenceburg. East Nashville 54, Maplewood nothing. John Overton with a 39-16 win over McGavick. Middle Tennessee Christian defeated Clarksville Academy 42-7. Creekwood edges Montgomery Central 21-20. Nolensville does not edge Glencliff, winning 55-0. Neither does Oakland with a 49-0 win over Antioch. Page defeats Laverne 38-7. Pearl Cone broke in the new turf with a 41-14 win over Pure Academy. Red Bull Springs 42, Mount Juliet Christian 12, Siegel 21, Coffee County nothing. Ravenwood down Smyrna 28-6. Springfield in a barn burner down Station Camp 34-33. Lincoln County stops a 2-point conversion late and defeats host Spring Hill 14-12. Rockvale 34, Stewart's Creek 26. Liberty Creek with a 55-18 win over Stratford. Loretto in the Pegasus Cup defeats Summertown 35-0, becoming the first road team to win in that series. Blackman edges Summit 28-27. East Robertson defeats Sycamore 49-20. Charlottesville County with a 48-8 win over Republic. Mount Juliet 53, Warren County 13. DeKalb County doubles up Watertown 20-10. Pope Prep with a 40-7 win over the Webb School. West Creek defeats Kenwood 28-7. It was White House 24, White Creek 7. White House Heritage 21, Cheatham County 14, and in 8-man football, Christian Community defeated Zion Christian 55-13.
Volleyball action, Eagleville 2-0 winners over East Limestone of Alabama. Notre Dame 2-1 winners over the Lady Eagles. It was Sycamore 2, Johnson County 1. Murfreesboro Central with a trio of wins on Friday. 2-1 over Buckhorn of Alabama. Bullitt East of Kentucky, and 2-0 over Elizabethton. On Saturday, Sale Creek down to Eagleville 2-0, while Eagleville took care of Chelsea of Alabama. That's a 6A school. Well done. 2-1. Boyd Buchanan also falling to the Lady Eagles 2-1. Gallatin with 5 wins here. Okay. They defeat Brentwood Academy 2-0. Ezo Harding, same score. Lawson, same score. Pope Prep, same score. They defeated BCA 2-1, but fell to Middle Tennessee Christian 2-0. Model, Kentucky, not Modell.
I'm pretty sure
going with Model. Model, Kentucky downs Murfreesboro Central 2-0 as Lauderdale County of Alabama beats Murfreesboro as well 2-1.
Girls soccer action on Friday. Point Pleasant out of West Virginia and Beach played to a scoreless draw. It was Father Ryan doubling up Lafayette of Kentucky 4-2. Lafayette in Kentucky.
It might be. Who knows?
It might just be here that it's Lafayette. Evangelical Christian, ECS out of Memphis 4, Franklin Grace nothing, Hillsborough with a 7-0 win over STEM Academy. Independence Academy defeated Republic 8-0. It was Station Keep 1, Bowling Green of Kentucky nothing. Notre Dame of New York and University School of Nashville played to a 1-1 draw. Holy Cross of Kentucky and West Creek played to a scoreless draw. Ditto for Fairview and West Ridge. Saturday on the Holy Cross of Kentucky defeated Beach 3-1, and Martin Luther King defeated Beach 1-0. Chucky Dope 2, Providence Christian nothing. Hume Fogg with a 6-1 win over Daniel Boone. Bowling Green, Kentucky, and Father Ryan, played to a scoreless draw. One Central of Kentucky and Franklin Christian played to a 2-2 draw. Scott County of Kentucky and Franklin Christian played to a scoreless draw. Catholic and Grace Christian out of Franklin, scoreless. Hume Fogg and Harding Academy. It's the Lady Blue Devils. Hume Fogg won 3-0.
I have no idea.
I can't remember.
McCracken County of Kentucky takes down Merrill Hyde 3-1. That's a big win for McCracken County, Kentucky. I don't know how good they are. They must be really good to beat Merrill Hyde, because Merrill Hyde did beat South Gibson 2-1. Providence Christian 3-0 over Coffee County. Fairview blanks Rockwood 4-0. Was Providence Christian Sevier County with a score draw. Siegel downs Grace Franklin 1-0. Evangelical Christian and Siegel played to a 0-0 draw, as did West Jessamine, Kentucky and Station Camp. Trinity Christian and University School of Nashville scored 2 apiece. Point Pleasant downs West Creek 2-1. Point Pleasant from West Virginia, and then West Creek down Martin Luther King 2-1. On Sunday, it was 4 Powell County, Kentucky 1. Everyone who lost just about scored 1 goal here. Father Ryan beats West Jessamine, Kentucky 2-1. Hume Fogg 2, Lakeway Christian 1. Martin Luther King 2, Holy Cross, Kentucky 1. Providence Christian 5, Bourbon County, Kentucky 1. Siegel 3, Owensboro Catholic, Kentucky. Yeah, surprise. Raw, Kentucky, though, blank USN 5-0, and Station Camp takes a 2-0 win over West. College football action of local note: Wake Forest 36, Vanderbilt 20. Tennessee downs Austin P 30-13. Tennessee State takes a 24-14 win over Arkansas Pine Bluff over in Memphis, and Missouri edges Middle Tennessee State 23-19.
In the professional football ranks, it was the New Orleans Saints defeating the Tennessee Titans 16-15 with some help. Major League Baseball action: Braves take 2 of 3 from the Pirates, winning 8-2, falling 8-4, and winning 5-2. The Diamondbacks take 2 of 3 from the Cubs, winning 1-0 and 3-2 before falling 5-2 in the finale. Cardinals taking 2 of 3 from the Reds, 9-4 and 4-3 before dropping a 7-1 decision on Sunday. Marlins, 2 of 3 seems to be the thing. The Reds take 2 of 3 from Cardinals take 2 of 3 from Cincinnati. Winning 9-4 and 4-3 before Cincinnati won 7-1. Marlins take 2 of 3 from Philadelphia.
Everyone took 2 of 3.
Yes.
All the way through minor leagues.
The Marlins won 3-2, lost 8-4, won 5-4. Brewers defeat the Yankees 8-2 and 9-2 before losing 4-3. Padres defeat Houston 11-2. Astros bounce back with a 7-5 and a 12-2 victory. And in minor league action, Memphis defeated the Sounds 8-4 before the Sounds came back for an 8-7 and a 10-7 win to close out that series at First Horizon Park.
WNBA action: the Connecticut Sun 76-59 winners over Indiana. Atlanta 80, Washington 75, Chicago 92-87 over Minnesota. It was Dallas 106, Seattle 91. Las Vegas clinches the number 1 seed with a 94-73 win over Phoenix on Friday. On Sunday, Dallas takes care of the Atlanta Dream 94-77. Chicago downs Connecticut 102-91. Indiana 87, Minnesota 72, Washington 90-88 winners over New York, which helped Las Vegas, although no change. It's Vegas 1, New York 2. Aces 185 winners over Phoenix, and LA 91, Seattle 89. Today's schedule, volleyball action. Hampshire is at Columbia Central at 4:30. At 5 o'clock, it's Gallatin at Springfield at 5:30. You can catch Battleground Academy hosting Providence Christian. Donaldson Christian's at Ezo Harding. Franklin Road Academy takes on visiting Columbia Academy. And MTCS welcomes Grace Franklin. It's not right. Okay.
No, this is Mount Pleasant at Culleoka in volleyball at 6 o'clock.
Thank you.
Yes. We talked about another.
Is it Culleoka at Mount Pleasant or Mount Pleasant at Culleoka? We've got two here. And they both may be wrong.
I believe it's Mount Pleasant.
At Culleoka?
No. It's Culleoka at Mount Pleasant. You are correct.
Well,
it is definitely not Moore County at
that's
Culleoka.
Thursday.
Right, correct.
I'm going to be at that match. I should have known.
That's the plan. Yes. So it's Culleoka at Mount Pleasant at 6. Yeah, I lost where I'm at.
Awesome.
Did you delete that?
I did.
Okay.
But I got it right.
All right, fine. Santa Fe is at Hickman County at 6. Also at 6, Harpeth is at Independence Academy. Lawrence County is at Loretto. As we mentioned, Culleoka is at Mount Pleasant at 6. Spring Hill is at Summertown at 6. White County is hosting Stewart's Creek at 6.
This
is
listen, it's the 6th page of this rundown.
Yeah. Laverne is at Wilson Central at 6, and Lebanon is at Smyrna at 6:30. In girls soccer action, 4:30, Hunters Lane's at Glencliff. 5 o'clock, Clarksville Academy hosting Good Pasture. Also at 5 o'clock, Middle Tennessee Christian hosting Columbia Academy. At 5:30, Giles County goes to Loretto. Watertown is at Cannon County at 6. St. Cecilia is at Franklin Road Academy at 6. McGavock hosting East Robertson at 6. Zion Christian travels to Richland at 6. At 6:30, White House is at Clarksville. Lincoln County is at Columbia Central, and Lipscomb Academy is at Mount Juliet.
Braves currently taking on, somebody hit a home run. Who was it?
It was just a
replay of earlier.
Mm-hmm.
We've got do we have a score in this current? Is it a final score?
I don't believe it's a final score. I think
inning
we're in the stretch. Yeah.
Gotcha. Well, okay. So the Braves and Phillies are currently playing right now, and they'll play again at 5:40 in a doubleheader. We'll get you a score in just a moment. Cardinals are at the Orioles at 5:35. At 6:40, it's the Marlins at the Brewers. Astros welcome the Athletics at 7:10, and the Cubs are in Denver at Colorado. Rockies at 7:40 tonight on Monday Night Football. It's the Bills at the Jets, 7:15 on ESPN.
Braves at the stretch lead Philadelphia 8-4.
And that's your rundown. Before we get to the top story, I just want to mention that you were an anonymous Kraken today.
I guess I've been released.
You've been released and apparently headed to Seattle. So congratulations. Justin, an anonymous Beaver. So clearly a big fan of America's team, Oregon State.
Well, yeah, apparently it's a big Pacific Northwest day, huh?
It
Between
must
the
be.
Kraken and
the Beavers.
And the Beavers, yes.
Got America's team, man. America's team 1 and America's team 2 with big wins over the weekend. Top story is brought to you, as is every day, by our friends at Piggly Wiggly Neely's Meal Shopping Center in Columbia. Make sure to go see them for your meat and vegetables. You can get a meat and 2, or you can get hand-cut meats fresh on the daily, and, of course, fresh produce all the time. It's just cost plus 10% at the register. Make sure to go see Piggly Wiggly and Neely's Meal Shopping Center. Mo, today's top story comes to us from what I can only imagine is the biggest in-season bombshell in college football history, as Michigan State has suspended its head coach, Mel Tucker, amid an investigation into sexual harassment. And it comes 2 weeks into the season.
I cannot think of a bigger bombshell to answer your unasked question. So as I'm thinking about it, I remember like Antonio Langham not being able to play in a bowl game because of, but that's
That wasn't that. It wasn't like it was the national championship that he wasn't going to play in or something like that. It just. So I mean, I can't think of anything that has been this disruptive to a program.
Yeah.
And this
involving a coach who was in the middle of a 10-year, $95 million contract.
Right.
Who stands to lose about $80 million. Because if this isn't fired for cause, I don't know what is.
Well, I guess it just depends.
On
whether or not it was consensual. Was it harassment? Because it wasn't like she was a member of the program. She was invited in to speak, but she wasn't like a subordinate. So I'm not sure exactly how this is going to play out, because there's a lot of evidence out there that says Mel Tucker probably didn't do what was said. Now, I don't know if he did anything wrong. What I'm saying is there's some evidence that would suggest that consensual is a possibility. And to me, it's gonna be a long investigation, and it's been going on since December, I understand. So I'm really curious how this plays out.
I don't think this is something that you come back from. And I don't think.
But I'm not sure cause is there.
If this was consensual, why would she let it? Why would Brenda Tracy let it get to this point, given her work?
It's a great question. I don't know. But also, why do you have multiple 30-plus minute phone calls after midnight leading up to the event that she claims happened?
That's when both of their schedules allowed it. She thought he was a confidant. Okay. From the way it's being laid out.
I understand. I'm just saying that
she thought that he was a guy who really related to what she was doing, what her objective was in terms of, educating college athletes on this very thing.
Okay, so that's when again, that's the way she's laying it out. He's laying it out as this. It wasn't a one-time thing. And I mean, listen, I'm just playing devil's advocate here.
Yes, you are.
And I feel like it's a conversation that needs to be had. I think that, when the investigation's over and we find out the truth, then we can discuss it at that point as fact. But I'm not sure that we can discuss anything as fact right now, which is why I'm saying he says it didn't happen just one time. This was a normal thing, and perhaps he got maybe his moral compass straightened out, and he said, we got to stop this. And now she's upset and said, well, okay, you want to stop it? We'll stop it. And I'm not saying that's what happened. I'm just saying that that's the way he's saying it happened. And so how you prove one way or the other is almost impossible, considering they were phone conversations and not text message conversations. Now, he deleted the text. Makes sense. He's married. She deleted texts in case someone got her phone and said, hey, why are you talking to Mel Tucker like this? I don't know. Or why is he talking to you like this? Or whatever. I mean, why delete the text messages if they were non-consensual?
That is a depth of the conversation to which
neither of us don't have the ability to discuss it. I'm posing questions that I think are probably being asked by investigators. But nonetheless, now you're in a situation where Michigan State has an interim head coach. Mark D'Antonio is back, by the way. I mean, this is a wild situation. And Michigan State, in all of the issues that they've had, particularly with this type of incident, they are in a world of hurt.
Is there a conference that's a bigger mess than the Big Ten? With this going on with Michigan State, with Jim Harbaugh serving the third game of a 3-game suspension next weekend, with Iowa in the midst of a gambling investigation, and there's somebody else. Who am I missing? Oh, Northwestern.
Oh, yeah. Don't forget them.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's easy to forget Northwestern. I can understand football. But, yeah, I mean, it's a mess. It is an absolute mess. And
maybe the former commissioner left at the right time.
It's kind of funny because, this is something you would expect, the totality of that. You would expect this in the SEC because we're win at all costs, baby.
Just means
more. It just means more type of thing. The Big Ten is trying to catch up, and they are perhaps doing it to their detriment. This is wild. This is the biggest bombshell I've ever seen in college sports.
Yeah. I mean, I think that's pretty safe.
And Michigan State, by the way, 2-0 is,
much needed after
They didn't have a great year
Tucker's
last year.
struggles last year. Yeah.
So I mean, Michigan State, and you can't Google Michigan State football right now. Now again, they beat Michigan.
Sure.
They beat Central Michigan and Richmond. It's not like they were, And this weekend they've just got top 10 Washington coming in. Who needs distractions? It's not a big deal. Distractions. It's just top 10 Washington and Michael Penix Jr. and Kalen DeBoer coming in. No big deal. Heck of an excuse when you lose, though.
There you go.
It's like, well, I mean, what were we going to do? We're dealing with the biggest mess in the history of
We're dealing with all
football.
this. Yeah.
So I don't know. It is a,
as you like to say, a mell of a hess.
A mell of a hess is what Michigan.
A mell.
Wow.
Of a hess.
That's even worse. Yeah. Michigan State dealing with it right now. Yeah, it's pretty interesting, and I'm looking forward to seeing how this all plays out. Just because, if for nothing else, it really, I felt like Mel Tucker was a good dude. I mean, I really did. I thought he was, kind of in. He was in an echelon that not a lot of coaches really get to. Of course, some would have said that about Pat Fitzgerald.
Well, there's a saying, power corrupts and absolute power corrupts absolutely.
Yeah. I mean, you get $100 million or whatever.
You tend to think you're a little bit bulletproof.
I mean, Ed Orgeron. There are some coaches that you expect this from. Ed Orgeron is one of them.
Mel Tucker's not.
Mel Tucker is not. Yeah. So it's a very weird kind of thing.
That's fair.
Anyway, let's take a break. First break of the day. When we come back, we'll get to our Monday Mirror Monstars, stars of the weekend, as well as we'll take a look at the AP poll. So stick around here. Ben Arthur, as you see him on the screen, coming up later in the show. Right here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bar and Joint. Stick around.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton on this Monday Mirror as we look back at the weekend in sports. And today we have the Mirror Monday Monstars. Mo, I personally have 5. I know you've got 3, so we're going to stick with 3, but we may have to give some honorable mentions out since Justin neglected to be involved today because he's been a little busy. I'll give him credit.
Justin's got stuff
he's
going on. So
he could probably tell us from Robertson and Montgomery County, since he just got off
who the Monstars are,
the podcast. but yeah, he's awful busy on Mondays, so we'll give him a break today.
Yeah,
but
we're gonna cut JK a little slack, but yeah, and your 5 may be good. I've only got 3, but hopefully my 3 aren't on your list. So I'm going to go first.
You go right ahead.
My first Monstar goes to Mount Pleasant linebacker, I think, Caden Davis. I'm not sure what position he plays exactly on defense, but he had 7 tackles, 2 pass breakups, and a 98-yard scoop and score in the fourth quarter that was the difference in a 14-10 Mount Pleasant Region 5 2A win at Harpeth that people in Kingston Springs are not happy with because they are convinced and they feel like they have video evidence that backs them up that the ball carrier was down when this fumble took place. Now, I'm also told that they also threw 2 interceptions inside their 5-yard line. So whatever that's worth.
So don't throw 2 interceptions inside the 5,
And maybe it doesn't come down to a bad fumble call.
You can take a knee or something.
But I mean,
Sure.
yeah, it's a big win for Mount Pleasant. You called it the miracle Miracle at Harpeth? Is that what you called it?
Yeah.
But I mean, they were down 10-8 at the time and looking a little dead in the water, and the numbers offensively kind of back that up. So
maybe not sure what Mount Pleasant was doing, but I don't know who they've got next week off the top of my head, but
Summertown.
Probably maybe looking ahead to a big rivalry because they, do share the same Sonic, as we like to say.
There you go.
But that's, I mean,
I don't know.
You got to go up there and win that game. But
yeah, especially after, Loretto has just beaten those guys 47-13 the week before.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
And of course, Mount Pleasant coming off a tough game the week before. Perhaps that had a bit to do with it as well. All right. My first Monstar, we'll stay in high school. Dante Parker, Friendship Christian, 2 interceptions, including a 60-yard pick 6 for the Commanders. Going to give him a little sticker there.
Big win over Providence Christian, right? Is that who they beat?
Not entirely sure, but
I believe that's
very possible.
I believe that's who they beat.
So, Grace Franklin, 42-27.
Okay, my fault. All right. My second Monstar in a losing effort, but a tip of the hat to Austin P quarterback Mike DeLello.
Former MTSU quarterback, Mike DeLello.
Yeah. 29 of 39 for 260 yards and a touchdown, also rushed for 36 yards as the Governors went up to Neyland Stadium and, regardless of what Tennessee did or did not do, acquitted themselves quite well in a 30-13 loss.
Can we just talk about how great Austin Peay's helmets were? The 931 on the one side and the TriStar on the other. That is an elite helmet. Niche, maybe, but elite. If you're playing the University of Tennessee, I mean, that's freaking cool.
Hey, we're from Tennessee too, baby.
Exactly. I mean, putting the TriStar on there. And I told Brady McAtamney not too long ago, I said, my favorite idea for a helmet for Austin Peay would be a top hat, like just a top hat on the side of the helmet. That would be cool.
The Govs.
So, anyway.
Get it across. You could do a top hat with the 931 in it.
Oh, dude, the 931 was cool.
Mm-hmm.
And
you can never go wrong with the TriStar.
No.
The TriStar is always good.
So, big fan there. All right. I'm going to go with North Carolina's Omarion Hampton, 26 rushes, 234 yards, and 3 touchdowns against Appalachian State, and it was needed every single yard.
Did you see what Mac Brown said about the series after the game? Somebody asked him if it wasn't great, the atmosphere and the excitement that UNC and Appy State plays, and he says, it's great for the fans to get these type ball games, and I am all for NC State and East Carolina to continue playing.
Yeah, he's like, I don't want any more of these guys.
I'm done.
I don't want any more of these guys. These guys can
what was that, 40-34?
Yeah, in overtime. Again.
Yeah.
So
and I mean, you got to understand, Mac's an old man.
Yeah, he can't take a whole lot of those.
Too many of those.
Exactly.
Yeah, shoot. My third Monstar, speaking of losing efforts, field goals of 50, 27, 31, 45, and 29 yards. Good thing the Tennessee Titans traded for Nick Folk.
Yeah, they almost needed him. Turns out, didn't necessarily matter if they had him or not.
Well, he kept them in position to win the ball game.
He did.
The fact that they didn't, that was one of those. I didn't lose.
Y'all lost.
Y'all lost.
Yeah, he walked in and said, I did everything I was supposed to do.
I kicked 5 field goals.
Oh, and by the way, didn't have a lot of success for touchbacks, but starting field position for the Saints was deep. I mean, one of them was on the 12-yard line.
I thought about what you said at the time. Because he doesn't kick the ball to the end zone, they've got to get down and cover, and for the most part, they did that. They created a turnover right off the opening kickoff.
I mean, it was like,
and settle for a field goal.
This guy's great. Let's keep him around. So
yeah,
I'm with you there. All right, I'm going to stay in the college game. I did it last week with a weird quarterback. We're doing it again with another weird quarterback. Mr. Transfer Portal himself, J.T. Daniels, in a win for Rice over Houston. What a big win for Rice over Houston. 28 of 42, 401 yards, one of only 2 quarterbacks in college football to throw for 400 yards this past week. 3 touchdowns and a pick in that win over Houston. Huge win for Rice.
That's a huge win for Rice. I just wondered, do JT Daniels' teammates have to wear name tags so he knows who they are?
Who's who?
Or where he is? Or what's Rice, West Virginia, Georgia, USC, right?
Rice, West Virginia, Georgia, USC. Yeah, he started at USC.
Yeah.
Then he went to Georgia. He was somewhere else because this is his 5th school.
This is his 5th?
I'm pretty sure this is his 5th school.
Was he somewhere where he didn't play?
Yeah, I think he sat out a year somewhere. Let me look at his Wikipedia. No, it's just 4. Okay.
Let's not make it any worse than it is.
Listen, I could have sworn there was somewhere, but
well,
yeah.
I mean,
he didn't play at Georgia. I know that because Stetson Bennett did.
Right.
But yeah.
Rice 43-41 in double OT.
Man, what a win for them. Thank God they're not in Conference USA this year.
Right.
A couple others just to mention.
Mm-hmm.
Kamari Turner, Giles County, 200 rushing yards, 3 touchdowns, 2 rushing and 1 passing. And then Tyreek Hill, 11 catches, 215 yards in the National Football League. That's insanity.
Yeah, I mean, those are, as we like to say, those are high school numbers.
Yeah, those are. I mean, if somebody did that in high school, I'd be surprised. Much less against professional athletes
in the league.
So
as we like to say,
yeah, that was impressive. So there you go. Those are our Monstars of the weekend.
And if you'd like to sponsor them,
yeah,
get at us.
If you want to sponsor the Monstars, let us know. All right, let's take a look at the AP poll. Because Alabama dropped.
You say that like you're surprised or something.
Dropped like a lead balloon to number 10. Tennessee, however, dropped 2 from 9 to 11. So, dude. Sports writers hate Tennessee.
And I don't know what.
And they will give, it's very simple because Tennessee fans will engage with them on social media when they see their ballots. And it's genius. I don't blame them. I should do it too. I should be a Tennessee fan hater, but I'm not because I'm a Tennessee fan. Coaches, however, have Tennessee at 9, Alabama at 10.
Well, Alabama has 1-1 with a win over MTSU and a loss to Texas. Tennessee is 2-0 with a win over Virginia and a win over Austin Peay.
Virginia, who, by the way, lost to James Madison this weekend.
Yeah. So, I mean, I would dare say that Alabama's 1-1 record is more impressive than Tennessee's 2-0 record at this moment.
Yeah. That one still a problem for me. You got to handle your business. And look, when we did our season predictions, I said Alabama would lose this game. On Friday, I said Alabama was going to lose this game. I never expected Alabama to win this game. That's why I thought number 3 in the country was a little too high for them anyway. I thought they're probably about right at 10. because they're gonna have a good year. They're gonna go 9-3 if Jalen Milroe stays their quarterback. Now, if they go to a new quarterback, all bets are off. They might win 10 games. I don't know. But if Jalen Milroe is their quarterback, they will not win double digits. Will not.
So I could not bring myself to pick Texas for a number of reasons.
You said it. You can't trust them until they prove that you can trust them.
Texas has been back for 15 years.
Texas would have beaten Alabama last year if Quinn Ewers doesn't get hurt, though.
That's another issue for me, though. I mean, maybe I've just not watched enough of Texas to really get a feel for that guy, but I've not been impressed by him. I didn't get to see, or I didn't watch Saturday night's game because I was watching the Braves get beat. But because it is still baseball season.
That's brutal.
Yeah.
Golly, you missed that game to watch the Braves lose.
To watch the Braves get beat. Yes. To Pittsburgh.
That's unfortunate right there.
Yeah,
that's a double whammy.
Bad. Every now and then you make bad decisions.
It's a double whammy. That's all right. That's why I've got like 7 TVs.
But I just didn't want to buy into the hype of Texas. And I feel like Alabama is a good enough team that if you go into Tuscaloosa and beat them, you've done something. So, I mean, I just got to take a step back and again, tip my cap to Sarkisian and that bunch.
Well, Texas moves up 6 to number 4. They're still behind Florida State, Michigan, and Georgia. Feel like that's about right. I mean, Florida State did get a top 10 win over LSU, which, by the way, LSU dropping to 14 after that was a little silly, but at least they didn't move. They didn't move up after beating Grambling. Though? Well, I mean, look, if they're, again, how many times have we talked about it? If they're a top 10 team and you lose to them, okay, like we need to remember.
I don't think it was the fact that you lost to them. I think it was the fact that you lost to them and you were down 4 touchdowns before scoring late.
I don't know. I think sometimes we get a little caught up in margin of victory because, you never know what can lead to it. Teams have to change the way that they play. I mean, a loss is a loss and a win is a win for me. That's where I'm at.
Whether it's a field goal loss or a 28-point loss.
To me, I mean, when you're talking about teams at the top level.
Mm-hmm.
So there's that. I mean, obviously Tennessee, winning 30-13 over Austin Peay, not very impressive.
Mm-hmm.
That's not quite the same.
Mm-hmm.
But when you're talking about teams like that, I don't know. 11 or 12 probably would have been fine. Getting them out of the top 10 is good. But anyway, Oregon State moves up 2. Ole Miss moves up 3 after really, and again, I'm about to.
Did Oregon State move up or did they stay the same?
Oregon State moved up 2 in the AP poll.
Okay. Well, I'm
from 18 to 16.
Okay.
But Ole Miss beats Tulane. All right. Tulane, by the way, falls out of the rankings.
Well,
and
I think folks were probably looking for an excuse for Tulane to drop Tulane out of the ranking.
And listen, I'm not making excuses for Tulane, but they didn't have their quarterback.
Mm-hmm.
And Ole Miss, it wasn't like Ole Miss went down there and just whipped them defensively.
All right.
So moving them up 3 is a little iffy to me, especially to keep them behind Colorado, who was probably as impressive as anybody over the weekend. First half, thought Nebraska should have been up, probably 21-10 at halftime, but Colorado did what they had to do. This, again, they've not beaten a good team, but both teams that they've beaten.
But they've beaten the teams that they've played.
And they've beaten them handily. They didn't go out there and get a late touchdown to beat Nebraska like Minnesota did. No. They won the game. They took the game. Shedeur Sanders, Travis Hunter, this is the top 25 team right now. And I don't know that changes. So 4 teams that were unranked move into the poll. Duke up 3 to 21. makes way for Miami, Washington State, America's team, UCLA, and Iowa. Iowa comes in over Clemson and Arkansas. Clemson, the next closest team, at 86 points. Should Iowa be in the top 25?
Well, if not Iowa, who?
Kansas, who absolutely dominated Illinois. Now, it's Illinois. I get that. But they dominated. They didn't barely beat Iowa State. No, they dominated Illinois. On Friday night, with black uniforms, looking fly, and they only get 19 points in the poll. And you're telling me that this Iowa team is the 25th best team in the country?
No, I'm not telling you anything.
24-14 winners over Utah State and 20-13 over Iowa State. That's number 25
at Iowa State.
Would be. You're not going to convince me.
So here's my question, and I kind of posed it to you over the weekend. All week last week, we talked about, well, not all week, because we weren't on Monday, and the game wasn't played until Monday night. But a point of discussion for us last week was, is Clemson done after losing at Duke 28-7? So if we're going to ask that question about Clemson after losing on the road, do we need to ask that question about Alabama?
Well, I think there's a pretty big difference. One, it's Duke. Two, it's Texas. I think that's a major difference. But I don't think there's any question that Alabama is going to win more than 6 games now, and they're going to do it against a tougher schedule. They are. The thing is Alabama's run as a perennial college football playoff team done? Yes. And here's the question I'm going to pose to you. Why?
Why is their run as a perennial college football playoff team done?
Is it curious to you the timing of NIL and players getting money in other places and the fall of Alabama syncing up? I'm not saying.
I'm just saying.
Just saying. It's curious to a conspiracy theory or conspiracy theorist, such as myself. That's all I'm saying. All right. Mo, we need to take a break, and we don't have much time to talk about the Braves. So
okay, we don't need much time to talk about the Braves.
3 hours worth of stuff. We're not talking fast enough. We got to get to it.
Yeah, we get faster.
We'll be right back. Main Street Sports Day, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint, after this. Justin fell asleep. I'm curious if his...
Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
Jones & Lang Sporting Goods here in Columbia has been outfitting teams, officials, and anybody else from T-ball to college for 50 plus years. Be sure and check them out at 931-388-8060 or online at jonesandlang.com. Jones & Lang Sporting Goods, the look of a winner.
Zion Christian Academy, zioneagles.org or 931-388-5731. You can schedule your appointment. Go tour their campus. It is beautiful over there, and you're definitely going to want to see it. Again, it's zioneagles.org. Give them a call, 931-388-5731, and schedule your tour today.
Did you know that up to 80% of us will experience back or neck pain during our lifetime? Many of you are offered surgery or addictive pain pills to relieve your chronic pain. At the Dr. Gill's Center for Back, Neck, Chronic Pain Relief, we have been leading the way to better health, naturally, and have helped tens of thousands of people right here in Middle Tennessee for the past 30 years.
I came to Dr. Gill about 10 years ago after my local doctors recommended surgery. I knew about Dr. Gill and wanted to see if he could help me. 10 years later, I am pain-free, no surgery, and no pain pills.
Surgery is scary, and over 40% of all back surgeries fail, creating a cycle of surgery and pills. There is a safer solution to your chronic pain. Make the call to the Dr. Gill Center for Back, Neck, Chronic Pain Relief today and get your life back. This office visit is normally $299, but call today and receive your initial consultation, report of finding for just $49. But hurry, this offer won't last long. Call 615-768-8743. That's 615-768-8743.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Murray County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net. September 11th, 1991, Kent Merker, Mark Wohlers, and Alejandro Pena teamed for the first combined no-hitter in National League history as the Braves defeated host San Diego 1-0. Merker started and struck out 6 over 6 innings, with Wohlers sitting down all 6 hitters he faced and Pena working around a 2-out Terry Pendleton error for the save. Pendleton accounted for the game's only run with his 5th inning solo shot off of Padres starter Greg Harris. That was this day in Braves history.
This day in Braves history, well,
went better than this day in Braves current as of right now, because Bryce Harper just hit a 2-run 9th inning homer to send us to extra innings, tied at 8 in the opener of a day-night doubleheader. Braves were up 8-4 at the stretch. Gave up a 2-run homer in the bottom of the 7th and 2-run homer right here. So
that's tough.
It is. Well, it's tough because it's a doubleheader, and all of a sudden you may have to go to some arms that you weren't necessarily expecting to go to when it was 8-4.
Yeah, and you've burned your best relievers, Jimenez, Minter, Iglesias,
trying to win the first one.
All gone.
Yeah, and you can't think that you can't
throw them
go
again.
to them in game 2.
So you need to win this one now.
Yeah, since you've burned them.
Since you got to win this
one. You got to go in on this one, I guess.
Yeah. That is tough.
Braves' magic number is 6. They can clinch in Philly by taking 3 or 4.
Yeah.
I think that'd be pretty cool. I mean, they're going to clinch at some point on this road trip. Might as well do it in Philadelphia.
Especially when they're the number 2 team.
Because they go to Miami from here, right? Pretty sure.
Charlie Culberson got Nick Castellanos to go 0 for 3 on 9/11, which is one of the most impressive efforts of our time. Because Castellanos, has a flair for the for doing well in bad situations. So that's, man, tough. That's tough right there. And now Rosario has struck out 3 times and fouled out to third base today. So instead, Kevin Pillar goes to the plate.
With Forrest Wall running.
I'll take that over Ozuna. Yes, please.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah, that's a good call there, Snit. Anyway, Braves struggling
until Ozuna's spot comes up in the order again.
Well, you still got some folks on the rooster somewhere.
Yeah,
maybe. I don't know.
Anyway,
in extra innings, we may just have to come back to Braves chatter because one, they're still playing.
No, I'm sure we'll talk more about it, whether it's on or off the run of show.
So let's go straight into our top of the hour Titans report from Terry McCormick and find out what he's got to say about Zen Sports and the Titans. Terry, welcome in. Can't hear you, Terry. You're muted again.
We can't hear you.
Yeah. Oh.
Can you hear me now?
You can hear you now.
Oh, okay. Good deal. This is your Zen Sports Daily Titans Insider Report. And so I guess everybody's been talking about what happened yesterday down in New Orleans with the 16-15 loss of the Saints and the struggles that Ryan Tannehill had, and a new offense, new offensive coordinator, new weapon in DeAndre Hopkins, a new offensive line, but a lot of the same old mess yesterday, guys.
Nowhere around it. I mean, nowhere around it. And Terry, with all of that newness, and we're going to speak at the bottom of the hour with Ben Arthur of Fox Sports as well, but just your take, Terry, with all of that newness that you just mentioned, might it have behooved the Titans to have played Ryan Tannehill a little bit more in the preseason? I know he said that wasn't an issue, but if that wasn't an issue, then what was?
Well, that's a good question. I mean, I think he probably could have benefited given that it's a new system with a new offensive line and all that we talked about with DeAndre Hopkins coming on board as well. But Mike Vrabel was asked why Ryan Tannehill was off today. He said he didn't really know. So that's certainly not comforting right there. If the head coach is still scratching his head over it. Well, here's the thing, guys, and we can debate this for a little bit if you want, but you hope if you're a Titans fan that it's a one-game aberration, that things were just out of sync and off and just discombobulated. But there comes a point, too, in a lot of quarterbacks' careers where they start to head downhill and there's no stopping it. We saw it with Matt Ryan last year. We saw it a couple of years ago with Cam Newton. We saw it going back a few years with even Peyton Manning and Drew Brees, two of the all-time greats. You hope that all the hits that Tannehill's taken over the last couple of years haven't taken their toll on him, and this is just something that needs to be ironed out. But if it is more than that, this team is in a world of hurt in terms of what they would do without Ryan Tannehill, because it doesn't look like either guy that they have behind him is ready, and you're confronting a full-on rebuild, asking either of these guys to lead your team for the rest of the year just to see what you have.
Terry, I made the comment on Twitter yesterday, that with decent play at quarterback, this team can compete at a high level because of what they've got everywhere else. I mean, am I off key? Am I out of left field in feeling that way?
No, I don't think you are. I mean, I think, as they say, defense travels, and this defense played really well until they kind of broke at the end of the game with that 41-yard completion that allowed the Saints to seal it. But I think, this defense is most weeks is going to give you the type of effort that's going to keep you in a ball game. Honestly, there's been a lot of debate about whether they used Derrick Henry enough yesterday. I don't believe they did, because he only had 15 carries, and it wasn't like they were down 21-3 and had to go exclusively to the pass. But they only ran the ball 19 times out of design runs, and they threw the ball 40 times out of design passes. That's 34 pass attempts,
Well,
3
Terry,
sacks, and 3 scrambles.
Terry, I tweeted this to you. What do you expect when you hire the passing game coordinator as your new offensive coordinator?
You have a good point there, but I still think, you got to know where your bread's buttered, and this team's bread is buttered.
Well, he doesn't know, clearly. He doesn't know. He's been here for 3 years and does not realize that Derrick freaking Henry is in your backfield and you have to use him. What is
okay? So you better know. You
yes,
okay.
I think so.
All right. So how much of this is it's just one game, and how much of this is an indication of something deeper?
I think we'll know Sunday when they face the Chargers. If they bounce back and they play okay, then you write it off as a one-game aberration, sort of like the Arizona game 2 years ago when Kyler Murray shredded them and Chris Jones wreaked havoc in the backfield, sacking Chandler Jones, yes.
Yeah.
When that sort of thing happened. If they come out and play poorly again in the home opener against the Chargers, and don't get me wrong, this Chargers team is not a pushover. They can put up points, as they showed yesterday. But if they get pushed around again, if they're not in sync on offense, then it could be something symptomatic of something much deeper. But I think we'll know more this week, whether it's a 1 week aberration or whether this is something to be really concerned about.
Well, and over time we've seen, Ryan Tannehill as a Titan doesn't play poorly consistently. He has some one-offs.
Thank goodness.
He has some bad games. But overall, we've been on the Ryan Tannehill, bandwagon for a long time. And typically, again, overall, he does not play like this consistently. So you have to expect that, one, Tim Kelly's going to learn some things and understand that 22's got to get the football more. And two, Ryan Tannehill's not going to play as poorly. Again, very good defense that they faced on Sunday. Very good defense.
It just never looked like
anybody.
It never looked like Tannehill was in sync, never looked like he was comfortable, did not look like he trusted his offensive line. And I feel like all of those are okay, understandably so, maybe. Okay, I get that. But, I mean, are those things that, again, could not have been addressed by playing more in the preseason?
Absolutely. 100%.
So
yeah, I think go ahead. I think what you wind up with is this. You wind up with too many moving parts, too many new parts. And I agree with you, Mo. I think there should have been at least a half of a preseason game to say, let's see what we have. Let's see if these offensive tackles can hold up. Let's see what it looks like throwing the football to DeAndre Hopkins. That's the other thing too. I felt like they force-fed the ball to Hopkins too much at the expense of Burks and Okonkwo.
Yeah. Traylon Burks getting 3 targets was not ideal for the Titans, nor over the Tannehill fantasy football team led by yours truly. Now
so that's
feed
where,
16,
that's where
baby.
this is all coming
feed
from.
16. Well, no, I won. I won by a lot. Let's just say. But yeah, I mean, this week is going to be a lot different. And I wonder, Terry, and you may have a thought on this. how much of an impact did not getting those practices with New England make? Because they didn't change the mindset on playing preseason games, but had they gotten those practices, they would have had joint practices against another team with the first teamers. Instead, they didn't get that chance.
That's a good point. That's something that really no one has brought up, but that is a valid point there, Chris. I think
sometimes I have those, Terry. It's rare, but it does happen. Blind squirrels and nuts and whatnot.
Yeah, I think it's something that maybe was a little bit overlooked going into this. All the more reason, as Mo said, to put them out there for a few series in the game against the Patriots, just to see what you have.
Yep. Well, as always, we got Monday Night Football tonight. So tell us a little bit about Zen Sports and how we can utilize their services.
All right. Go to Zen Sports if you want some action on the Jets and the Bills tonight. Zen Sports is the new sports book in Tennessee, revolutionizing the way you earn sports betting rewards. With Zen Sports, your rewards are cash rewards. You bet with real money, and now you're rewarded with it too. Earn cash commission on your referral bets with Zen Sports Referral Rewards Program. Zen Sports, betting just got better. Gambling problem, call 1-800-889-9789. Terms and conditions apply. Must be 21 and older and in Tennessee to bet.
There is nothing better than drinking an ice-cold beverage while taking in a Nashville Sounds baseball game. Hi, I'm Stephanie Miller with Mornings on Main Street. The Nashville Sounds and Main Street Media Television have teamed up to promote Sunday Family Fun Day here at First Horizon Park, each Sunday home game. Just go to your favorite Main Street Media website and click on Sounds Main Street Media Day banner to register to win free tickets. And then we'll see you here at the ballpark.
Tired of hanging lights every year? We get it. That's why Southern Nights is here to help. We install programmable lighting on your home or business so you can enjoy beautiful, customizable lighting all year round. No more ladders, tangled lights, or cold nights outside. We do the work, you do the celebrating. Call Southern Nights today and take the hassle out of holiday lighting forever. For a free quote, give us a call at 931-241-3074 or visit our Facebook page at Southern Nights.
Mockingbird Title and Escrow is an attorney-owned and operated full-service title company in Middle Tennessee. We get your deals closed without worry and fuss. We're a family business that offers the highest level of expertise in our industry when it comes to closing and funding your real estate transactions.
And it's a job I really love. I'm passionate about this. I'm enthusiastic about this. I like to think we're pretty well-rounded and can deal with a wide range of needs and a wide range of clients.
Call 615-274-8698 today.
It was just a few drinks. I'm good. I thought it was good.
After every game, we always have a few. It's no big deal. It was no big deal.
Hey, I can hold my liquor. I thought I could hold my liquor.
Since 1975, Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint Clinic has treated the orthopedic needs of Middle Tennessee residents. The trained physicians provide surgical options and minimally invasive options to treat all orthopedic needs. The walk-in clinic, OrthoQuick, helps you bypass the ER while treating sports injuries and acute needs Monday through Saturday. Visit MTBJ online at mtbj.net or on social media at Mid-Tennessee Bone Joint Clinic.
Welcome back in. Main Street Sports Today presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao, Mo Patton here with you on this Monday Mirror look back at the weekend of sports. And
before we look back any further, Braves are up 10-8 after scoring 2 in the top.
Thank you, Kevin Pillar, and who?
And
Arcia?
Orlando Arcia.
Doubled.
Yes.
Dang.
So
and then couldn't get anybody else in.
Yeah, Bohm is on second with 1 out, and
Pache is up.
Christian Pache getting ready to do us a favor.
Oof. Yeah. How about a line drive right to somebody and
to shortstop
and double
maybe,
up Bohm?
to get out of here
That would be fantastic.
and get on to this break before the second half of this day-night doubleheader.
Yeah, because now that 5:40 starts creeping up.
Mm-hmm.
It's like, wait a minute, it might be 6:40. I bet they could change it though. They needed to just push it back a little while.
He did not give us a double play, but he did give us a strikeout.
Well, I'll take that.
Mm-hmm. So
2 outs. College football, Tennessee did defeat Austin Peay, though Govs fans got to feel pretty good about their team's 2 losses, not only to the number now 11 team in the AP Top 25 in FBS, but number 18 in the FCS poll, Southern Illinois, after upsetting Northern Illinois over the weekend. Those 2 losses now not looking so bad for the Govs.
yeah, also, they got to feel pretty good about themselves and where they're sitting right now, even at 0-2.
Yeah, as far as 0-2 goes, they ain't bad.
Yeah.
It could be worse.
Yeah. So.
Oh, man. Yeah, I thought you were right. Mike DeLillo played a heck of a football game. And Austin Peay was certainly up for this one,
Well,
as you expect.
I mean, when I don't know how many of their kids are from Tennessee, but the opportunity to play at Neyland, I mean, we've seen that with Tennessee Martin, and you're representing an in-state school. You may be from here, playing a Southeastern Conference school. Regardless, I mean, you're gonna be pretty juiced up to go up there. So went up there and hung in. It was 6-6 at one time, right?
Mm-hmm.
So
then it was 13-6 and then 26, and finally Tennessee pulled away a little bit.
Yeah,
but it took a while.
Mm-hmm.
And look, Tennessee's not the only team that has struggled with some FCS opponents in the first half. And on top of that, you had to deal with the delay. So you've done all your warm-ups, you've done all the things, and then, oh, by the way, we got to sit in the locker room for another 20 extra minutes, and that's not ideal.
Well, and here's the thing, I don't know how much you want to put into it, if anything, but Tennessee has a fairly significant matchup next week.
Right. You're looking ahead potentially to, and here's the thing, if you don't understand, and I'm sure most people who watch this show are pretty intelligent as far as sports go, you probably know that half the week was spent preparing for Florida. It was. I mean, that's just the simple facts. They're not game planning on what Mike DeLillo is going to do. Now, part of it, sure, is let's go out there, let's do our thing, and that's the bottom line. But a lot of last week's practices were certainly, if not focused on, had some Florida undertones.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's just kind of how it works. That's one of the reasons you see teams like this struggle in the first half, because what you're trying to do is play base defense and win. And you're trying to be vanilla on offense and win. And Tennessee struggled to do that, in the first quarter, first half. They had to go into their bag just a little bit to be productive.
And something that's going to continue to be a topic until it's not. Joe Milton's got to be a little bit more accurate.
Well,
he's got to harness that arm.
Yes and no. I mean, his receivers did not do
Gotta
him
help
a lot of favors. I mean, if Joe Milton hits your hands, you've got to catch it. I don't care how hard it's thrown. I don't care if it's in your hands. You've got to catch it. You got to know what's coming. And these are receivers that have worked with him for 2 years. Squirrel White and Ramel Keaton. These are guys that know what it's like to catch footballs from Joe Milton.
Somebody tweeted something Saturday after the game. UT receivers going to be on the jugs gun from 6 a.m. till dark tomorrow.
And they should be. I mean, there's no reason for you not to be turning that machine up.
All the way up. The way turned up, right?
Exactly. It should never be a normal. You should never catch a normal pass.
Because you're not going to catch a normal pass.
Not from 7. You're just not. And one of the things that I wish, and perhaps we'll see more of it this week, I don't know. I really hope we can see Seven use his legs a little more. His physicality is just so
dominant.
Mm-hmm. And there's no reason that if Hendon Hooker can run for 50, 60 yards in this offense, that Joe Milton is not running for 50, 60 yards in this. I know he's not a dual threat guy.
We saw him do it against Virginia on a couple of occasions.
He did it. He scored a touchdown, on the read option. But it feels like to me that keeping it is a rarity. He's going to hand that ball off 9 times out of 10, if not more. And so I really feel like he's got to start pulling it, if for nothing else, just to keep the defense honest.
Just to make them
to
remind them that he will do it, for one thing.
To hold the linebacker so that Small can get to the edge. Mm-hmm. And by the way, I don't know, do you read Cole Kubelik's weekly? He does a weekly recap of each of the schools, and his Tennessee recap this week actually was pretty positive, considering handled their business. Joe won't need to be a superhero if Jalen Wright is going like this. Jalen Wright, Jabari Small, those guys, this is as good of a run attack as I've seen in a long time. And if apparently Mays is going to be out for an extended period of time. So I'm hoping to see that.
I thought Heupel said today that Mays was progressing and they expected to see him.
Well, I haven't seen Heupel's comments from today. I'm just basing this on what I saw before the Austin Peay game. He was going to be out longer than we expected, because I expected him back against Austin Peay. Then again, you don't have to have him. You don't need to play it, kind of thing. You know what I mean? So hopefully he'll be back this week. But otherwise,
at Ben McKee 14, Heupel on Cooper Mays, anticipate him having a good week of practice here and being ready.
Well, if that's what we see, the offensive line will be dramatically improved. And I feel like this is a team that is ready to go into Florida and win a game. So they're going to have to do a lot more than they did this week, for sure. Mm-hmm. Vanderbilt goes to Wake. And, we talked in the offseason about how this wasn't an automatic win for Wake Forest. I don't think it ever really was an automatic win. But, Vanderbilt's not played particularly well at all this season.
No, they did not play consistently well in the win over Hawaii. They didn't play consistently well in the win over Alabama A&M. And there were a lot of reasons, again, the delay and other things that kind of interrupted them over at Wake Saturday. But my thing is this. I just don't think that every time Vanderbilt loses that the answer is to fire the coach. And I don't know.
A lot of folks calling.
I don't know what, if anything, gets that across to their fan base.
They got a couple problems. Number one, they can't run the football. And that's not all on Clark Lee, because their running back left of his own volition.
Speaking of.
Had a great game.
Did you see that clip?
Oh, yeah. That was brutal. But, A.J. Swan can't throw 2 interceptions. But when you've got to throw the ball, because you don't have a running attack, it makes a difference. Got to give props to London Humphreys, though. Big game, 109 yards, touchdown. Will Shepard, 87 yards on 8 catches. Humphreys was 4 for 109, 27 yards a catch. Got to give him props on that.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
He probably should have been one of our Monstars. But
maybe.
When we had Clark Lee on the show, he mentioned.
When you had Clark Lee on the show.
Okay, when I had Clark Lee on the show.
Because I was not here for that.
You were not. He mentioned London Humphreys and Junior Cheryl from Lipscomb, as well as incoming freshman receivers. Can we eliminate true freshmen from the vernacular, by the way? But let's do our part on that. But he mentioned those guys as incoming freshmen who he expected to impact the passing game. And London Humphreys has certainly lived up to that here at the early going.
I think Vanderbilt's going to be just fine throughout the season. I don't think they're going to go over in conference play, one, because they get to play Missouri. But
Missouri, which just beat Middle by
4 points and probably shouldn't have.
Yeah.
Arkansas Pine Bluff takes it on the chin from our friends over at Tennessee State, 24-14. Big win. Davion Bryant, 174 yards passing. Jalen Rouse with just under 100 yards rushing. So I want to give them props and well done to Tennessee State.
Yeah, bouncing back from that trip to Notre Dame in a big way.
Yep, needed to see it. So, got to give it up to Brent Rowe, by the way, for blocking a game-tying field goal, returned 92 yards by James Green to ice it. So well done, Brent Rowe and James Green.
That's pretty huge
for giving Tennessee State the win in the Southern Heritage Classic. All right, let's take a quick break. When we come back, more on the AFC South from Ben Arthur at Fox Sports here on Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Stick around.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handlers supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Chris Yao and Mo Patton here with you on this Monday Mirror edition, a look back at the weekend, and plenty to look back at in regards to the National Football League and the AFC South in particular. And to do that, we have with us the one and only Ben Arthur. Ben, what's up, man?
How you doing, guys?
Doing well, man. Did you go anywhere this weekend, or did you just kind of camp out at the house?
I was in Indianapolis for Jags Colts, so I actually just got back to Nashville a couple hours ago.
Did you drive up? Is there still construction on the south side of Indy? Is it still a pain?
No, it actually wasn't that bad. I mean, there was some construction, but it wasn't. There were no delays or traffic. It was just kind of a lot of rerouting and whatnot as you kind of get into Indiana and whatnot. But it wasn't too bad.
Good. So you saw the only AFC South team that won this weekend.
I did. Yeah, and I guess
that's because they beat
because they beat an AFC South team. Yeah, exactly. But
yeah, I was just gonna say the other AFC South team lost, but yeah, the Jags. I mean, they're the real deal. That it wasn't perfect by any means from their vantage point. What Doug Peterson said post game was they're not like a quote well-oiled machine, and that they struggled in kind of short yardage situations, and there may have been some questionable play calls here and there, but when you talk about how dynamic this offense could be, that was on full display. Calvin Ridley, it was his first game in basically 2 years, and he didn't miss a beat, over 100 yards receiving. Trevor Lawrence was surgical most of the game. And then I think defensively for the Jags, something that people have talked a lot about in terms of being a question mark is that pass rush. And they stepped up. I mean, Josh Allen and Trayvon Walker, two former high draft picks, they're the guys who need to lead for Jacksonville's defense, and they combined for 4 sacks and 9 pressures. I mean, they played well and scored 31 points for the game, and so the Jags, they look good, and they'll have a huge test against the Chiefs this coming week.
That being said, it wasn't exactly easy for Jacksonville. Colts, surprisingly to most folks, were right there in this ball game, and thanks in large part to Anthony Richardson.
Yeah, it was Anthony Richardson in parts, although I would say it was more so early in the game. It was really the defense, their defensive front, that really kept them in this game. Their interior defensive line and their linebackers in particular really made a lot of plays. I'm sure you guys have maybe seen the play that DeForest Buckner and Zaire Franklin combined to for a defensive touchdown. It was a sack fumble, basically. Jags rookie running back Tank Bigsby had recovered the ball, and the refs never they never called the play dead, but all the Jags had stopped moving, and then Franklin comes up from behind and punches the ball out. DeForest Buckner gets the ball and runs in for a 26-yard touchdown, and that gave them a lead in the third quarter. And again, kind of as I was saying, with the Jags not looking great, really struggling in short yardage, and that was in large part because of the Colts D line. I mean, they seemed to be kind of afraid to run it up the middle. They had a lot of pitch and toss plays to kind of stretch the Colts horizontally, and that didn't work out for them. So yeah, Anthony Richardson certainly had his moments, and definitely looked better in his debut than I thought he would look, quite honestly. But it was really their defense that gave them a lot of chances down the stretch against a Jags team that looks to be pretty good.
In the other AFC South game, Houston falls 25-9 at Baltimore. Not a great shock there, I don't guess.
Yeah, it was a tough game for Houston. I mean, I don't think many people would have anticipated them even coming out of Baltimore with a win. I mean, that's a contending team right there, and playing at Baltimore, a really tough place to play. And The Texans have actually been like decimated by injuries, particularly on the offensive line, and their offensive line is like supposed to be the strength of this team. They're one of the highest spending teams on the O line, but their right tackle is on IR, their center is on IR, their left guard is on IR.
Shaq Mason is not, however.
Yeah,
we should just point. Shaq is from here, so we have to make sure
that's right.
We're big Shaq Mason fans. Good for him.
Glad he's healthy.
He's one of the few guys on that O line that's actually healthy for them, and it was kind of clear in the product. I mean, they couldn't get the run game going with Dameon Pierce, and he's going to be like the engine for them, taking pressure off C.J. Stroud. They couldn't get him going. But I did like defensively some of the stuff that the Texans showed on that front. I think we saw DeMeco Ryans' influence, and then Will Anderson looks. I mean, it was just one game, but he could really be one of the elite pass rushers in the NFL. He had 6 pressures, sacked Lamar Jackson, who's, as we all know, is one of the toughest guys to bring down in the league, and so a lot of stuff to be happy about, I think, if you're a Texans fan.
It's amazing what Will Anderson can do when he's allowed to rush the passer instead of dropping back in coverage like some defensive coordinator did last year and ended up, getting a new job. That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying is that maybe Will Anderson should just be rushing the passer, and clearly he showed it on Sunday.
He does that well. Huh?
He does it well on Sundays. So, nobody that watched Will Anderson 2 years ago is surprised by what he did on Sunday. Nobody.
Yeah, he's
going to be a problem.
Yeah, no, he is. I mean, he's as NFL ready as you can ask for. Or everyone knew coming in that he'd probably be the Texans' best D lineman right off the bat. He's probably 10 sack a year guy off the bat. And he's good against the run too. And I think that's really important for the Texans because they had the worst run defense in franchise history last year. That they allowed the most, or in terms of rushing yards allowed per game, it was the 6th worst in NFL history for them last year. Derrick Henry obviously kind of ran all over them.
Contributed to that.
But yeah, he helps them in the run game too. It's not that he's just a pass rusher too. So yeah, big time guy for them.
It's funny mentioning the run game in Houston. They don't have much of one offensively, and that's not something that you don't want your rookie quarterback to have to throw the ball 44 times a game every single time out. They've got to find some way to put together some semblance of a rushing game.
Yeah. As I said, I mean, Dameon Pierce. I mean, he has to be the engine for this team. And DeMeco Ryans has indicated that they got to be a run first team. I mean, it sets up everything they want to do in the play action game with kind of the West Coast, influence offense they run with their new play caller there, and yeah, that they have to figure it out. Even though, as I said, as I rattled off all those injuries that they have, I mean, at the end of the day, they still have to try to figure it out so it doesn't get ugly. Because C.J. Stroud throwing 40 plus times a game isn't sustainable, and yeah, it's just not going to work. So I'm not quite sure how it's going to work for them right now, to be honest. I think they just need to get guys healthy, because right now that they have some guys playing out of position up front and a lot of backups in. So in terms of the O-line. So I think right now there's kind of a lot of pressure on the defense to really to step up and kind of carry them in that regard, at least in the early going.
Ben Arthur of Fox Sports joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Ben, I feel like you have gone back and watched the Titans. Besides Tannehill's play, what concerned you in their opening loss at New Orleans?
Well, I haven't been able to watch all of the film yet. So just kind of take that with the grain of salt in my analysis. But yeah,
Gotcha.
I mean, they definitely left a lot out there on the field. I mean, beyond Tannehill, as you said, I think that the red zone, that's got to be better because, and I think that ties into Derrick Henry too, and how they just didn't seem to utilize him as much down the stretch. He's got to get touches. And I remember Tim Kelly saying he had been asked a few weeks ago about, just Derrick and kind of like his utilization, or I don't remember the exact framing, but Tim said something along the lines of like he would be foolish not to like involve him heavily, like as the engine of this team the last several years. With Derrick, you know what you kind of do well, so you have to make sure he's involved, especially in a close game down the stretch. So I think giving Derrick the ball, like just simply giving arguably your best offensive player the ball, he has to see the ball more. Obviously, penalties, that's got to be cleaned up. And that was kind of the first regular season game for that offensive line. So it's going to take some time. I think with 3 or how many 4 new starters, it's just going to take some time like that to build that continuity. We saw them make strides throughout the summer, but it's going to take some time for them to all work together in conjunction with the run game and with Tannehill as well. And then defensively, I don't want to pick too much on them defensively because at the end of the day, the Saints still had just 16 points. And so usually that should be enough to win a game. But we did see kind of the lapses at the end, like the Christian Fulton giving up that 40+ yard play. You can't have that, especially in a game that comes down to 1-2 points. So yeah, I mean, there's a lot, but I think ultimately Ryan Tannehill is the main reason they lost, right? I mean, I think they could have still won even with all those other things that went wrong, as long as Tannehill didn't put the ball in harm's way. And it wasn't like these were fluky plays too. These were all underthrown into double coverage, or their plays too. He just completely missed wide open receivers. So that just can't happen. We can talk as much as we want about all these other things, but your starting quarterback has to give you a better chance to win a game, because this game is played between the margins. Most games come down to one score, and when you give up the ball that many times in the way he gave it up, you just can't have that.
Now, that being said, 10 points in one play. And Mike Vrabel's not happy. Even today, said that he spoke with NFL officiating coordinators to ask for more consistent officiating. And
I think all you have to do is sit the Josh Dobbs play against Jacksonville last year and this play next to each other,
side by side,
and you tell me what's the difference? Why is this one a fumble and this one an incomplete pass? And somebody should have to explain that to Vrabel and to everybody else.
Yeah, there is no. I saw no difference, and I've seen. Yeah, even on Twitter, like I've seen videos where people have kind of put it together side by side, and
they're literally the same thing.
They're the same play.
The ball went to the same place in both of those plays.
Yeah,
it's the wildest thing I've ever seen, and it's like, man, if there was just
somebody should have to answer to that.
Someone should have to answer a question. But obviously you can't blame officials when you throw 3 picks. You can't blame officials when you do the things that the Titans did. That being said, after watching what you've seen this weekend, obviously the AFC South We didn't think it was going to be one of the best divisions in the NFL anyway.
You said it was going to be the worst.
And the Falcons and Saints may have proved that I'm right.
Mm-hmm.
We'll see what happens with the NFC East. Yeah. But, I mean, do you feel like that this division is any better than we thought, or is it as bad as we thought overall?
I mean, I think it's about what we thought.
Who they thought.
The Jaguars kind of being as explosive as they are. The Titans, we thought the offensive product would look better than it did in week 1, but we knew it wasn't going to, that's not going to be like this fantastic high-powered offense. I don't think really anyone had that expectation, although we did expect a significant improvement from, the Todd Downing-led units of the last couple years. But Titans defensively, pretty much what I expected. And I knew the Colts aren't going to be very good. They have the run game concerns. Jonathan Taylor, I mean, they needed him. They really needed him. I mean, their running backs combined for 16 carries for 25 yards on the ground. And to be able to take those hits off of Anthony Richardson, they need that. And they don't really have a lot of great weapons in terms of pass catchers. So I knew the Colts weren't going to be very good. And the Texans are going to be a work in progress. They're one of the youngest teams in the NFL, the Colts too. But yeah, I mean, it is pretty much what I expected. I expect the Titans to be better. And so, we'll kind of monitor them. But for the most part, this division is pretty much what I expected it to be.
Ben Arthur, Fox Sports, joining us here on Main Street Sports today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Ben, thanks again for taking time with us. It has certainly been week 1 for everybody, officials, players, and talking heads. So appreciate you taking time with us. We look forward to talking with you again soon.
Sounds good. Thank you, guys. Appreciate you.
Man. All right. Yeah, we're going to take a regular break here. And when we come back, NFL reactions to the rest of the league. Right after this, Main Street Sports Today, presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Back to the Lee Company studio in a moment.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint treats your orthopedic injuries and existing conditions. Our trained physicians will get you back in the game faster. Contact us at 931-381-2663 or www.mtbj.net. Custom Stone Handler supplies over 600 distributors and suppliers with quality stone products. Along with River Stone, we produce and distribute over 100 building, landscape, and other bulk products. Our goal is to provide quality products, service, and partnerships to ensure our customers' success. We firmly believe that the measure of any person or company is how they treat other people and customers. Give them a call at 931-490-4990 or visit CustomStonehandlers.com.
With Lee Company technology, the best handymen are hands-off. Lee Company techs have been using visual findings and other smart technology tools for years to add transparency and virtually take customers along. You see what we see, whether we're in a crawl space or on a roof. With Lee Company, technology helps us help you, no matter what's happening in the world or at your house.
You can't see the sights without the sounds. From the crack of the bat to the roar of the crowd and everything in between, discover what Hit City has to offer. Spend your nights cheering on the Nashville Sounds at First Horizon Park with giveaways, fireworks shows, theme weekends, and more. Single game tickets are on sale now. Visit NashvilleSounds.com to claim your seat today.
Piggly Wiggly, located in Neely's Mill Shopping Center, is Columbia's locally owned and operated Cost Plus 10 grocery store dedicated to serving the community with low prices and smiling faces. Piggly Wiggly offers fresh, hand-cut meats daily as well as daily hot plate lunches from their deli counter. You're certain to see smiling faces and a helping hand when you're here at Piggly Wiggly. Come by and check out our fresh produce, high-quality meats, and more. Down home, down the street, we'll see you at the Pig.
Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint has been the official sports medicine provider for Maury County Schools for more than 40 years. We specialize in orthopedic service, and our Ortho Quick Walk-In Clinic lets you bypass the ER. Visit us online at www.mtbj.net.
Welcome back in Main Street Sports Today. It's presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone and Joint. Time now to take a look at the National Football League outside of the AFC South. First off, former Titan Adam Pac-Man Jones was arrested at an airport and for, quote, being unruly. Airport spokesperson Mindy Kirshner said police were called at 6 a.m. Monday to help crew members with an unruly passenger on a flight scheduled for departure. Kirshner confirmed that Jones was the passenger arrested prior to takeoff and taken to Boone County Detention Center. Details about Jones' arrest weren't immediately available, but he told WKRC-TV after he was released that he asked to be moved to another seat because the phone charger for the 2 seats he had purchased wasn't working and that he was told they would have to turn the plane around. That they haven't even left. Listen, he vehemently, quote unquote, according to this ESPN article, this is their words, not mine, vehemently denied being intoxicated, and also it's 6 a.m. and also rejected the terroristic threat allegation. Listen, none of this
go
makes
back to the
sense.
charger for a minute. He paid for a charger or paid for a seat that had a charger?
Yeah, so you just plug your phone up with like a USB or whatever.
Right, I get that. Didn't work. Paid for it. Didn't work. Asked to be moved to one that did.
And then apparently was told,
I mean,
we're going to turn this plane around. First of all,
I guess I'd have been arrested too.
Yeah,
because I mean, if I'm paying for something, don't I have a right to it?
Well, and
is it my fault that it's not working?
No, and that's the thing. Like this seems. Look, it's 6 a.m.
Right.
One,
nobody's trying to.
How unruly can you be at 6
in the morning? Well, other than for being up at 6 a.m.
Well, there's that. I mean, I'm
going to be a little pissed off if I got to be up at 6 a.m. to get somewhere, and I'm going to be more pissed off if my charger that I pay for isn't working.
Let's see if we can find, because that was from the Associated Press. Let's see if we can find something else that gives a little more detail, because I did see where he had posted he said something, he made a post about talking with a stewardess, although the flight attendant was a male. It'd just be a steward.
I wonder if that was by design.
I don't know if I don't think it, I mean, anyway, no, it doesn't look like there's
a video from Adam Clements at A Clements WKRC. Pac-Man issues statement after being released from jail. So,
yeah, he said that this blank is getting old, bruh. He insisted he was neither intoxicated nor making terroristic threats during the incident. I'm part of the media too, but report the facts. Report the facts and stop reporting the BS. The facts, Jones argued, coming from CBSSports.com, that he was wrongfully removed from the flight after merely asking to change seats he had purchased. I paid for 2 seats myself. I had a conversation with the stewardess, a man, about the charger not working. Can you move me somewhere else? It went from a whole thing, which, you know, We know about whole things here. From moving me to, if we move you, we got to stop the whole plane. This is what y'all want, though. I'm not kissing nobody's behind. If I'm wrong.
He didn't say behind.
No, he did not. If I'm wrong, I'm going to tell you I'm wrong. I'm wrong for telling the flight attendant that the charger is not working for the seat because I need my iPad to work when I get to New York. No. Listen, when Pac-Man is arrested, very rarely am I going to be on Pac-Man's side, but based on everything we've seen.
Pac-Man asks, who gets drunk at 6:30 in the morning?
I'm just going to say it. This is exactly the type of thing you would expect when not just a black man, but a black man who looks like Pac-Man, right? He's he's athletic. He's built that way. He's intimidating. So when he stands up to talk to this dude, the guy gets intimidated, right? Thinks that he's, coming up on it. And this is, in my opinion,
and
based on what we've seen.
And everybody is quick to believe that because of Pac-Man's background. History. In fact, there's a tweet that I'm not going to tell you who wrote it.
I bet I could guess in 3 guesses.
You absolutely could, and we'll see after we get off the air. But if I can get my cursor.
You're on the wrong screen. Yeah. You got to get to the other side.
Yeah.
Keep going. There you go.
We go. Hang on. But I keep hearing and reading he's reformed. He's reformed.
I'm telling you, this is not.
This doesn't sound to me like a situation where Pac-Man is in the wrong.
Yep. Based on everything we've seen so far. Now, we may get a video, surveillance footage that proves that he was acting all fool.
But I mean, based on what we've heard over the last 5 minutes, again, any number of people would have been bothered under the same circumstances.
Absolutely.
So,
I'm not putting this on Pac-Man.
I'm
not putting this on Pac-Man.
Not this. So
that was not at all what I wanted to talk about. Just mentioned it, and here we are. But Dallas Cowboys. So first of all, about that whole New York Giants are going to win the NFC East thing, I was just kidding. That was satirical.
You demand a recount, right?
That was satirical. However, about that Dallas Cowboys to the Super Bowl pick, totally meant that one.
Not from the wild card spot, huh?
Not from the wild card, I don't think. I think they're going to get that bye. Is this the most dominant defensive performance we've ever seen in the NFL?
I again didn't watch, don't know, but 40-0 in week 1 is, in week 1 in particular. I mean, that's pretty dang dominant.
I mean, obviously, it's recency bias potentially, but it's the largest shutout win in Dallas Cowboys franchise history. Wow. The last time that they beat someone that bad was Baltimore in 1978, 38-0. That was when they were the Colts, of course. The second largest margin of victory against the Giants in 122 matchups in 1966, the Cowboys opened the season with a 56-7 win over New York. And in 95, the Cowboys beat them 35-0. The Cowboys became the 5th team to open their season with a shutout of 40-plus points on the road. The last time that happened was when Pittsburgh beat the Browns 43-0 in 1999.
Goodness gracious. So this is a win of historic proportions then.
Okay, if not the most dominant performance in history, definitely the most dominant performance in this millennium. Cowboys have put folks on notice. You have now been put on notice. Tonight, Buffalo and the Jets, we get to see Aaron Rodgers in Jets green taking on Josh Allen and the Bills. Bills are a 2-point favorite on the road. Who do you like?
I like the Bills.
All right. I'm going to take the Bills as well because I think they're going to win the division. So, yeah. There you go. Monday Mirror. We can
look back. Oh, Braves won 10-8 and 10. And Cal Wright is apparently starting game 2 in an hour and 40 minutes. Yeah.
We could continue talking, but we're not going to go 3 hours.
No.
We're just not. But come back tomorrow.
Sorry, Dave.
Yeah. Come back tomorrow. We'll continue these discussions and much, much more. Of course, Chip Walters will join us as well. Look forward to seeing you at 2 o'clock here on Main Street Media TV. This is Main Street Sports Today presented by Mid-Tennessee Bone & Joint. Have a good one.